ब्रिटिश पाकिस्तानी क्राउन कोर्ट के जज बैरिस्टर गजन महमूद ने दुनिया न्यूज से खुसूसी गुफ्तगू करते हुए कहा कि पाकिस्तान के अदालती निज़ाम में इस्लाहात करने की अशद ज़रूरत है। पाकिस्तान और बरतानिया के वकला का आपस में तबादला ख्याल बहुत ज़रूरी है ताकि वो एक दूसरे के तजुर्बात से सीख सकें। उनका मजीद क्या कहना था, आइए देखते हैं।
बरतानवी जज बैरिस्टर चौधरी गजर महमूद से उन्होंने हालिया गुज़श्ता दिनों पाकिस्तान का दौरा किया, जिसमें पाकिस्तान हाई कोर्ट, पाकिस्तान सुप्रीम कोर्ट जो जजेस के साथ मीटिंग की और पाकिस्तान में जो ऐसे मुकदमात जो काफ़ी उनका अरसा जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा लग जाता है, और स्पेशली ऐसे मुकदमात जो ओवरसीज पाकिस्तानियों के हवाले से, तो वो पाकिस्तानी जजेस के साथ, पाकिस्तानी वकला के साथ मीटिंग भी की और कई ऐसे सेमिनार में ख़िताब भी किया। तो बात करेंगे चौधरी गजर महमूद साहब से कि पाकिस्तान और बरतानिया के दरमियान जो माहिर कानून हैं वो आपस में किस तरह रब्ता करके बेहतर पाकिस्तान में अदालती निज़ाम को बेहतर कर सकते हैं।
A very, very interesting trip. As you know, I traveled to Pakistan recently with a UK delegation of lawyers. There were a few of us, like-minded individuals. It was an informal trip, and it was designed to discuss matters with the UK, with the Pakistani judges, with the Pakistani legal community, share, collaborate ideas, and identify differences between our systems to see what we could do to assist Pakistan and what they could do to assist us. And one of the key themes of the meeting, of the discussion, was the idea of developing an ecosystem of rules so as to shorten the length of trials. And as you know from your own experience in Pakistan, trials in Pakistan last generations. They can last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So one of the key themes of the discussion was to find solutions, to find ways of mitigating against that by reducing the length of trials, because in England and Wales, trials only last a year or two. So that was one of the key themes, and alhamdulillah, we were met very graciously by the judiciary there. We were met very graciously by the legal community, and in particular, my old friend Justice Jawad Hassan. He was very gracious and with his time, very generous with his time, who assisted us in meeting many other people to have these sorts of discussions.
वो पाकिस्तान में उनकी ज़मीनों पर नाजायज़ कब्ज़ा, गवाह बराए तैवान, जो अदालती निज़ाम है, जो अगर कोई किसी का कोई केस पाकिस्तान की अदालत में है, तो किस तरह जल्दी निपटा जाए?
Well, that's a very fundamental question, a very important question. And as I said, that was one of the key themes of our discussions. The problem with the system in Pakistan currently is that there is no quick method. There is no method whereby you can issue a claim and get resolution within a year or two. So the difficulty there is that justice there is delayed, sometimes generations, sometimes 10 years, 20 years. So one of the issues that we discussed was, how can we in Pakistan develop a system to benefit overseas Pakistanis and to benefit them as well, which would shorten the length of the period of any judicial issue, of any legal issue. And how does one do that? And one of the solutions we really discussed at great length was the idea of mediation or alternative dispute resolutions, principally mediation. The idea is that, as you probably know, in Pakistan, they have mediation centers. They have been tried in the past, but they haven't been particularly successful, partly because of the individual's mindset, partly because people like the idea of litigating, and partly because sometimes people gain advantages by litigating in Pakistan because of the length of the process. So those who want to cause problems for others, they will start a case 1 year knowing that it's not going to finish for 10 years, and that will cause problems for the individuals involved in litigation. So one of the ideas that we discussed was, how can we introduce mediation as a mandatory measure within the system of law there for all kinds of disputes. The advantage being that before somebody issues any claim, they would be obliged to go through a mediation center first and speak to a mediator. And if they, for example, don't do that, they should be precluded from using the judicial system, from using the court system, I should say. But of course, that only works if you develop an ecosystem of rules as well. And as I said before, Mr. Justice Jawad Hassan is a great proponent, a great supporter of the idea of mediation. He has lectured worldwide on the issue and is a leading expert in the area.
सियासी जमातों के केस अदालतों में या नैब में जाते हैं, जिसके हक में फैसला हो जाता है वो खुश हो जाता है, जिसके अगेंस्ट जाता है तो उस तरह किस तरह वो इंसाफ का जो सस्ता इंसाफ किस तरह आम आदमी को मिल सकता
Well, this is a fundamental issue in Pakistan. The fundamental issue exists all around the world to a large extent, that the judiciary is supposed to be entirely independent of the state. The business of a judge is to administer justice, regardless of race, religion, creed, or status or political issue. That is the key fundamental requirement, key fundamental ingredients of any judge.
है? इसी तरह पाकिस्तान के जो वकला है उनको भी आपने इनवाइट किया कि वो भी आए हमारा अदालती निज़ाम हमारा वकला का जो सिस्टम है तो वो देखें ताकि वो भी पाकिस्तान में जाके इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकें
It's very interesting you should raise that point because that was also an underlining theme of our discussions. We obviously went there to collaborate and share ideas, which we did. I had the privilege and honour of speaking to the Lahore High Court Bar Association. I met with several hundred lawyers there. I also had the privilege of going to the Federal Judicial Academy where I met a number of judges. And one of the themes was, as I said before, how do we implement in Pakistan a system that we have here to shorten the length of trials, to ensure that justice is administered in a timely way? So whilst having those discussions, we were invited to collaborate with the judges in the Federal Judicial Academy. And one of the issues they raised was, could there be a way of us collaborating further through mentoring and training? And that's something that we are currently exploring. So the answer is, it is certainly possible, but it's outside my gift.